What's up, nerds? My name is Steve from Flipping the Nerd, and this is my top 10 favorite TV movie cats. I love cats. Never owned one, actually. I was really more of a dog person. And if you're also a dog person, or you just want to see a list about dogs, a couple of months ago I did a top 10 favorite dogs in TV movie. I'll put the link in the description below if you'd like to see that. And in the summer sometime, I'm going to do my top 10 favorite TV movie animals, excluding dogs and cats. So this is kind of a trilogy, and this is part 2, going with the cats. And just so you know, these are all house cats. I'm not including any like tigers or lions or anything like that. They're going to be put into my other list. So these are strictly house cat lists. The reason I'm doing the list this week, I was actually supposed to do it next week, is because we lost Grumpy Cat at the age of 7. That really bummed me out. I really liked Grumpy Cat. He was really funny looking. And I love funny looking animals. That's why I love pugs so much from the dog world. So I put the list up a week, and next week I'm going to do what I was supposed to do this week, but I'll talk about that at the end. So let's get right into it with some honorable mentions. And the first one, of course, I have to, Grumpy Cat. I friggin' love Grumpy Cat. Now, he's not so much known for the TV movies. He's more known for the memes online, but technically Grumpy Cat hosted Raw, so that kind of counts. And I know he did like some Hallmark movies or something, so it counts. But it is just an honorable mention. It's not actually part of my top 10. So Grumpy Cat, I honor you. You're an awesome cat. And the memes will live on forever. So thank you for that. May he rest in peace. The next honorable mention is Mrs. Norris. Mrs. Norris is from Harry Potter. She is Filch's cat, Filch being the caretaker at Hogwarts. Not a ton to do in the series, which is why it's more of an honorable mention. But she was petrified during the Chamber of Secrets, which, by the way, I think is the worst of the movies, but that's a whole other story. But I do love this series, and I do like Mrs. Norris. She is a really cool looking cat. So that's why I put her in honorable mentions. Then we have Stimpy. Now, I kind of knew Stimpy was a cat, but I wasn't 100% sure. Thank you to my best friend Rich for confirming it when he watched my dog list, because I had Ren on that list. And so Stimpy is a cat, so I'm putting in honorable mentions. I was never a big fan of Stimpy. I liked Ren more than Stimpy. Stimpy was just a little too dumb for my liking. But I did have to put Stimpy on the honorable mentions list. So thanks again, Rich, for letting me know it's really a cat. It doesn't look like a cat. It's a very ugly cat. Then we have Sassy from Homeward Bound. Homeward Bound is a really cool film about 3 animals. I think was it 2 dogs and a cat? It's been a long time since I saw it. And they get lost, and then they have to find themselves home, and there's this adventure. And Sassy was, the cat, and she a lot of bad stuff happens to her, and the dogs have to save her. But it's a cool movie. If you get a chance to watch it, check it out. And I love Sassy's a lot. The reason she's just an honorable mention, I haven't seen Homeward Bound in like 20 years, so I just don't remember enough to warrant putting her in the top 10, but I remember the cat being really cool, and that's why I put it here. And finally, we have Jonesy from Alien. That is Ripley's cat. She was the entertainment on the Nostromo. Specifically, I think she was there to kill rodents, but hey, she is one of 2 survivors from the Nostromo, Ripley and Jonesy the cat, or aka Jones the cat. So definitely needed a shout out, and that does it for honorable mention. So let's get to the top 10. Number 10, Scratchy from The Simpsons. Now, Itchy and Scratchy is the cartoon within the cartoon that The Simpsons watch, particularly Bart and Lisa. And Scratchy is the butt of all of the jokes. He's the one who keeps getting killed by Itchy. Of course, it's kind of like reminiscent of the Coyote and Roadrunner. Scratchy being kind of the coyote in the pack. And it's just entertaining to see the different ways that Itchy gets always ahead of Scratchy in the way that Itchy kills Scratchy. And it's just I just really like the character. I liked it more than Snowball too, which is the other cat in The Simpsons. So Scratchy deserved a spot in the list. Number 9. Mr. Bigglesworth from Austin Powers. Mr. Bigglesworth is Dr. Evil's cat. At first, I think it's like a super like fluffy white cat when he's in the 50s or 60s. And then when he goes into the future, it's like a Mexican hairless type cat. I just like the way Mr. Bigglesworth looks. I like how Dr. Evil really loves this cat and how he, pets it, kind of reminiscent of the James Bond series. And it's just a really cool looking cat. And that's why I put it on the list, really. And I don't have much to say about it. I just love the way it looks. So that's why I put it on the list. Number 8. Crookshanks from Harry Potter. Another Harry Potter entry on the list. Crookshanks is Hermione Granger's cat. I love the smushed face cats. Just, I don't know. It's the same thing with pugs, I guess, which is my favorite breed of dog. I just like smushed face animals. Grumpy Cat kind of have a smushed face as well. Crookshanks doesn't do a ton in the series. If anything, actually, she kind of annoys other characters. She goes after Ron's rat there in number 3, and then she plays with the ear that they're trying to listen down on in number 5, which is so there's not a punch, but I just really love the way Crookshanks looks, and that's why I really want to at least give her a mention. I think it's a cool cat, and Hermione Granger really loved that cat, so that's why it's on here. Number 7. The Cheshire Cat from Alice in Wonderland. There have been multiple versions of Alice in Wonderland at this point. I'm going to go with the cartoon version, which is the original Disney version, which I really enjoy. It's just a really kind of sassy, very smooth cat. I just really enjoy all of the different versions of the Cheshire Cat. When I put the pictures, I'm going to put different versions of the cat. I like the way it looks, the way it kind of appears and disappears. It's a really cool looking cat, and that's why I enjoy watching it, and I just had to put it on the list. Number 6. Salem from Sabrina the Teenage Witch. I wasn't a huge fan of Sabrina the Teenage Witch, but if I would watch it back in the 90s, it would be because of Salem the cat. Salem is Sabrina's kind of sidekick, very kind of like the brains behind it in the operation, if I'm going to be honest, and kind of a smart ass. And I really liked watching Salem kind of do his thing. And it was just a really cool cat. Again, I didn't watch a ton of Sabrina, but if I did, it was always to see what Salem would be up to and what Salem would say. And that, I think, is the best part. And I'm talking about the 90s version. I haven't seen any of the new Sabrina. I don't know if there even is Salem in there or what he does or how it's portrayed, but this is strictly the Salem from the 1990s. Number 5. Puss in Boots from Shrek 2. And then subsequent films, and then his own series, but specifically in Shrek 2. Antonio Banderas playing a cat that is a swashbuckler and then plays cute and then kicks your ass. It's just an amazing cat, and it's a really cool character and a great addition to the Shrek series. I really love the Shrek films up until 4. I don't even think I've seen 4, but I like the first 3, especially the first 2. Shrek is just a cool series, and Puss in Boots was a great character to add to the dynamic of Donkey and Shrek and Fiona and all that stuff, Gingy and all that stuff. It's just a really cool performance. I really like how he plays off with Shrek and especially with Donkey, and that's why I had to put him on the list. Number 4. Church from the Pet Sematary remake. Now, I like the remake. I didn't love the remake. I still think the original was better, but if there's one thing that the remake did better than the original, I think it was Church. They based the look of Church in the remake on the book version, which I thought was really awesome. And it's not like this cat says anything, it's not like Puss in Boots or some of the other entries. he just really looks creepy. That's his job in the movie. But he does a really fantastic job of doing it. Every time you see Church, you know he's up to something. And I love seeing cats who are up to something. You know, I love watching cat videos online where the cats are like just being complete dicks, and that's one of my favorite things to watch online. Like that infamous clip where he's like pushing a glass off the table. His owner tells him not to do it, and he kind of just looks at it and then like, screw you, I'm doing it anyway. Church has that like look, and I just absolutely adore that look. So, and the original was good, but I really like the one from the remake, so that's why I put that one on the list. Number 3, Goose from Captain Marvel. This is definitely I guess Pet Sematary and are kind of around the same time, but this is a new entry to the list. I've only seen this movie once. Goose is Captain Marvel's cat. It's kind of an alien. I think it's called like a flurkin or something, but it's super adorable when it needs to, and it's a total badass killing machine also when it needs to, and I just love everything about it. I'm not going to spoil Captain Marvel for you guys, but Goose has an important role to play in the story, kind of, and answered a question that a lot of people had been asking about one of the characters, but again, I won't say what that is. Just watch the movie and stay to the end credits, because you'll see Goose come back for an encore, which is just an awesome little scene, so Goose had to be on the list. Number 2, Binks from Hocus Pocus. I wasn't really a big fan of Hocus Pocus until like 3 years ago. So I had seen it when I was a kid and didn't really like it, but which is weird because I was really into Halloween and that kind of stuff. But when they put the Hocus Pocus show at Disney World 3 years ago for the Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party, which I go to every year, I decided I should probably watch Hocus Pocus again just to see what it's all about, and I fell in love with this movie. And I really like the Binks character, which is the character that, you know, in the old time becomes a cat and then lives all the way to the present, and is kind of the thread between the past and the present as they try to take down the Sanderson sisters. I just really, really love this cat. It's kind of like in the same vein as Salem. And although he doesn't have a ton of scenes, he nails every scene that he's in. And it's a cat I enjoy watching for sure. So Binks, yeah, absolutely had to be on the list. Number 1, Garfield from Garfield and Friends. If there's one cartoon that I would say defined my childhood, as far as one that I watched all the time when I was a kid and still watch to this day, I have them all on DVD, it's Garfield and Friends. I absolutely love Garfield. He's such a dick, and I love it. And I just love watching him. He's mean to Odie, he's mean to John. I don't know what it is. I don't know why I like this character so much, but the sarcasm, the gluttony, the laziness, maybe I can relate. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe Garfield is me. Maybe I'm a dick in real life, and my God, like a whole existential crisis here. Maybe I see myself in Garfield. I don't know what it is, but I absolutely love watching Garfield the cat. There was no other choice for number 1 for me. I think it's kind of an obvious choice because most people would pick Garfield as their favorite cat. Garfield has been around for a long time. A lot of people have read his comic strips, which I adore as well. I used to buy those like booklets of the comic strips. But it's in the TV show that I used to watch every Saturday morning, Garfield and Friends, where I really got to love Garfield. He was played by Lorenzo Music, which is a great performance, and I still have him on DVD, and I still occasionally watch him. I definitely watch the Christmas special and the Halloween special every year to this day, and once in a while I'll pop in the... If ever I want to feel nostalgic on a Saturday morning, I'm going to pop in Garfield and Friends, eat a bowl of cereal, and it's going to take me right back to my childhood, and that's why I absolutely had to put Garfield on the list. What do you think of the list? I'd love to know your thoughts. Who are your favorite cats? I leave any off the list. I had a little bit more of a tough time with the cats than I did with the dogs. There aren't a ton of awesome cats. Or maybe I'm just missing all these cool cats I had no idea exist. So please let me know. I would love to hear your opinion on it. Next week is the list I was supposed to do this week, and it's one I'm really looking forward to. My top 10 favorite horror props. What that means is I get carte blanche and I can own any prop I want, one per franchise. What are the top 10 I would pick? With the only rule that has to fit into my room here. So I can't pick like the Ecto one because I can't put it into my horror room. So it's got to be a prop I can fit in here, one per franchise. If I had the pick of the litter, which are the top 10 I would pick? And this is going to be a really fun list, and I really hope people get to tell me what their lists are because I'm very interested in the subject. But we'll talk about that next week. This week, let's talk about some cats, and I would love to hear your thoughts on it. Don't forget to check out the dog video that I put in the link below. And later this summer, I'll have the rest of the Animal Kingdom to round out this animal trilogy I'm doing this year. So thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you all on the flip side. Goodbye.